Merry Christmas! Here's a quick embroidery tutorial showing you how to do this really straightforward decoration that's brilliant for gifts or just a crafternoon at Christmas. You just need a wooden hoop, some quilting cotton and two types of thread, two colours of thread. And then if you've got a sequin, bonus, but I'll show you what else to do if you don't. Draw a triangle. Trace your swirl, go over it when you're happy in a dark pen, and then you can just use a light box or a window to trace it onto your cotton. I use a light box. I've had this 20 odd years. It's a very old-fashioned type of one. They're much more LED and thin now. Or you literally just get masking tape at the top, put it on a window, and then trace it with your friction pen, just lightly, like so. You're going to cover this line with your thread, so you don't really want any peeking out. And as I always say, take a hairdryer to the finished piece. There we are, now we're ready to hoop up. Top, cotton, calico to support. You can use 2 pieces of cotton if that's what you've got. And then because this is staying in the hoop, we tighten it up till it squeaks. Remember, it's got to be like a drum. Start to hear it creaking, drum-like. Then we're going to get our first piece of thread already done. So this is Perlay 3. It's bigger than I usually use, and this is Perlay 5 that I'm going to do the couching in. This is equivalent to 6 stranded thread, so a full thing of stranded thread, and this is equivalent to about 2, maybe 3. So you don't have to have 2 needles on the go, but you can. Not in one end because it's staying in the hoop. Doesn't matter if there's a bit of bulk at the top. And that's that one on the top. Not this one. You're going to need a couple of pieces of the white. You get your extra needle. Your magic needle threader if you struggle to do this by hand. I apologise for the plaster and the state of my nails. My nail tech has been poorly. So all you do to couch is you do little clamping stitches. It's like a 2-prong staple. Little clamping stitches gently over the red thread. You don't want them too close, but you need them to guide around the curve. So sometimes they need to be a bit closer for that curve. And we're just going to carry on doing this. And you do this all the way down to here. Way down to the end. And bearing in mind, notice here, you just cross over where they meet. And you might just want to have a clamping stitch close. So just think about where they need to be rather than how evenly spaced they are, because as a whole you don't notice. So when you've gone down to the end, you take your needle on the red thread, pull it down through. So it only comes up through the fabric here and goes back down there. Your white needle, I'm just going to double stitch here. If you follow my instructions, videos, classes, Excel, you know I'm a great advocate of the double stitch rather than the knot. However, in this case, I'm going to say we're going to clamp over with double stitches this way, because it will be very chunky to double stitch there, and it is very hard to get a double stitch through here. So I am just almost couching it from this side, just going into the calico. So just into the supporting fabric. Easier said than done. I'm going to do a couple over here so we can clamp down that tail. This is why I like a double stitch, because it's actually quite hard to do this, and it's quite hard on a small hoop to move your needle around. Then another couple just here where it's a bit further up, checking that the needle's not gone through the front. One more and then we're done. That is not going anywhere. So reach for your snips, leave a little tail, leave a little tail. Then we just need to put the star on the top of the tree. You can either do in white with a star stitch, or if I can find where I've put it, you can get a sequin that goes really well here. Green sequin looks great on the top, but I'm going to do this one with a star stitch. Star stitch on the top. We have here, always say to the kids, it's a plus sign with a multiply sign on top. So trying to get it even, I'm going to do this big horizontal and vertical cross, the big plus cross, and then I will do a smaller multiply like a written X. And when you do this on a big size, a little bit of fluff there, just need to bear in mind that occasionally you need a little extra couching stitch in the middle. There we have it. And there is your finished thread. Double stitch it, trim, finish the back like I do with my Suffolk puff running stitch around the end, and there is a quick Christmas decoration. And here we have the finished article with the white star on top. All you need now is a bit of ribbon. Finish the back with trimming it down and doing a running stitch around the back, and that's ready to display with your Christmas decorations for years to come. Have fun. It's really quick and simple, take you less than an hour.